Same routine. Drop in 1 stick of incense, gingerly light it.
Okay. All good.
Ground. 4th stick, light it.
All right, as the 4th stick of incense lights up, you hear the steel door begin to creak open.
And I pause and kind of look at my companions and put my finger to my lips and then kind of gesture at my ear. And then I listen.
Hark.
Perception check, please. Although it is still deathly quiet, Leung Sing Bold, you notice above the others the quiet rustling of cloth. And then you hear the clinking of some type of tiles clicking against each other. It almost sounds like a game of mahjong when people are shuffling their tiles in between games, but obviously not as loud. But it sounds like tile clinking on tile.
I look at my companions and kind of point at my ear and nod, and then hold up a finger saying, wait 1. And then as quietly as possible, I will sneak up the stairs to the edge of the doorway to peek around the door and in.
Okay, as you peek inside of the doorway, you can see from that angle 2 stone coffins. You see that the lids have come loose. For the 2 that you see, the lids have come loose. They could be opened, but nothing seems to be moving at the moment except for the slight clinking of tile sounds that you hear.
I see open coffins in the room, kind of pull back around the door, look at my companions, and begin walking the hell away from the room. And as I walk, I walk past the sorcerer and say, coffins, coffins, oh, coffins.
I approach and nod and say understandingly, you are correct. The sounds you hear are only heard because of those small bones in the inner ear that I mentioned.
Wingway still cautiously raises her halberd, takes a look. She says, so what do we do now?
I look imploringly at my other 2 companions.
We report that our hypothesis was correct, and the Emperor and his necromantic wives have risen. And our job is complete. We have investigated.
That seems wrong to me. That seems wrong. That does not seem right.
Perhaps we can get the 500 barrels of oil that I requested?
I think that seems unlikely as well.
With that, the clinking sound starts to grow in volume.
How about we
I hear that.
with a really bright coin and DD Mao. Work our way out and get out of there. We never agreed to anything. We agreed to find what was there.
My friend, I think that we have to. I think we must.
Because it's either going to get us or we're going to get away from it. But we still have the key. We can lock it back in there. So throw the light in, get a quick look, and then split.
Are you
suggesting that the unwritten portion of this contract was that we destroy what we find?
No.
Yes.
Wing will say, well,
Brian,
yeah.
is the clinking?
I guess.
Is the clinking continuing to get louder?
Yes, it's growing.
Does it appear to be coming closer?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to pull out my stick, shrug, walk up to the door.
At that point, let's have everybody roll initiative.
In the words of Sun Tzu, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. We know nothing of the enemy. Therefore, we are doomed.
I'm purple, right? So I got a 16 plus fear.
Oh, if you did not mark that off, you should do it
who got
now.
the one?
A zombie. Look, -1.
Oh, zombies. Great. Okay.
Okay.
That's just a... Anyway.
You see 3 zombie-looking creatures covered in suits of jade crawling out of the coffin. Having slept for who knows how long, they have not really come to any sense of intelligence and thinking. The only thing on their mind right now is hunger, and they want to eat. Wingwo, who, although she is very practiced with her blade, she has never faced creatures like this. She is quite scared, and she just readies an action to strike if anything comes within 10 feet of her. And that brings us to Gakoi.
How far out are they?
They
Let's
are
see.
still inside.
The doorway?
Yeah.
So if I scoot over here, I can see them, right? Yeah, cool. I think they're in range for my flaming finger. I'm not do burn hands yet, but the flaming finger thing. Because everybody likes barbecue, especially when they're hungry. So I believe they are in range. So let's check this out. There's
So
scorching ray.
Scorching Ray, yep. Yeah, it's 120 feet. You got plenty of range.
I got plenty. So the cast spell. Oh wow. I'm not hitting anything with that.
All right, you throw your Scorching Ray inside. So roll that 2 more times, Porter.
And specify your targets.
Are you targeting one at each of them, or?
I think that would have been a good way to at least distribute any luck or bad luck. So
So roll for the second.
one that missed would have been, yeah, alright. So now I'm looking for the 2 closer to us, one on each.
2 12s, 15 each. Okay, that's better.
So,
Okay.
56, right?
all right, 2 of the flame. We'll use the damage, initially the 7 damage. 2 of the flames, and
Okay.
go for the 2 female-looking
Nearest.
statues in front, the creatures in front. And the flames do reach them, and you see that they are caught up in flames. The flames do not reach the one in the center, the male in the center.
I guess I'm a misogynist. Anyhow. Alrighty, so, I think that's the end of my action there, right? If that's
Cool.
That's it. I can't step back from the doorway, can I?
You can.
If you have remaining movement.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will step.
Just move. You just
Yeah, it
move
looks like
yourself
you-
to the side.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, the first zombie begins moving forward. They do not have a lot of movement at the moment, as they have just come from probably hundreds of years of sleep. Lang Sing Bo, you have the ability as a Taoist to create amulets, and at third level, you have the knowledge of 2 amulets. One of them is effective against undead, and the other is effective at aiding your companions. The undead one at first level only works like a turn undead, but at third level it starts doing damage every turn. But you need to, as an action, you pull out a paper, you write the amulet, and you make an attack roll to attach it to one of the undead creatures. On its next turn, if it fails a saving throw, a dexterity saving throw, then it will take damage from that amulet. And at higher levels,
great.
At higher levels, it will start to do, the damage will increase.
Perfect. So I can create these amulets. Okay, perfect. But it's a melee attack to attach them. Is that true?
That's correct.
Perfect. Okay, so let's think. So is it an action to create the amulet, or is it like a bonus action to create the amulet?
Basically,
Or is it just an action to create it and attach it?
Yeah, action to create it and attach it, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to, he's a foolish man, but he's going to do it anyway. He's going to move into the room, and then taking his wooden sword, which again, indistinguishable from a stick, he's going to pull off the pommel side, which is it turns out to be a cap, and a calligraphy brush is underneath. Pull out a piece of paper and quickly scrawl a character on the piece of paper, and then try to slap it on this creature in front of him.
Okay.
So what I need to do is just a melee attack with my spell modifier, yeah?
Yeah. So you try to attach the amulet, and the creature, sensing what is coming towards it, it feels the radiant energy coming from your amulet, and it tries to move out of the way. The amulet just drops to the ground. It does not attach firmly enough to take effect.
Okay, that's awesome. Cool. That's it for me then.
Next is Tinlo.
Okay, I will step forward to here. Noticing your amulet attempt, say, you're welcome to try my calligraphy tools if you think they would work better. And then I use my bonus action to assailant on this zombie number 2? Zombie number 1, 17. Feature, say assailant. That's as a bonus action. And then draw my hand crossbow and fire at that one.
All right.
That looks like a miss. Maybe not.
No, a 13. A 13 will hit. All right.
It would have been a miss except for the assailant. Okay, nice.
You plug that with a hand crossbow bolt. And
now, hang on. The damage roll was 4, is that right?
Yeah.
Did that include the additional modifier? I don't think it did.
No, it did not. You're right. So that's another 3 for your intelligence bonus?
Intelligence. Instead of my dex modifier, it should be my intelligence. So it should add 1 more to that. It should be 5 points of damage, not 4.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Next is the zombie from the center. He moves forward, and that's about all that he can. And feeling his primal hunger, having not fed for hundreds of years, he dashes forward, so that brings him here. Okay.
Excuse me, zombie, but I know where there is a raisin if you're hungry.
All right, and the second zombie also moves forward, moving 1 more. Actually, she's going to dash and move to that side there. Okay, back to the top of the round. Okay, so for her turn now, she moves forward within range. And
She has reach.
yes, she, with her pole arm, she has 10 feet reach.
Single,
And
her
she-
stick is larger than yours.
And she slashes away at the male zombie in the middle, and she shouts out, "Get them all!" Okay.
Seeing where I can get a clear shot off, I will. I'll use my scorching rays again.
Okay.
2 at one and then 1 at the other, because I think there's another one over here, but I can't see it, so I'm assuming you can't get a shot on it.
Right.
So I'll do 2
2
at
on the
male.
left or 2 on the right? 2 at
The
the
2 on
middle.
so the center. So I do the male, 2 at the male, 1 at. It would be the male's right, but my left.
Yes.
So
What did it sound? Oh, natural 20.
All right. The first one is a critical hit on the male on the center for 14 points of fire damage.
that should hurt.
That definitely hurts.
Nice.
I have to do my other attack rolls now.
More 20s.
Let's see. Oh, there it goes.
Okay, pause for a second. After seeing how well you hit the first one, I'm going to use my reaction to advise you without your solicitation. I'm going to give you astute counsel and tell you, no, light them on fire from the bottom so they burn up. And that will give you a +2 on the 12 roll. That's actually a 14.
Sweet.
I don't know if it makes a difference. That's one of my class features.
That definitely gives us the flavor and shows off one of the skills that I wanted to show off, so that's great. All right.
Nice.
And for the damage roll,
Just 2d6.
Yeah.
2d6, but you can add 2 to the first one because of my astute counsel.
Yes.
That's the first one.
All right.
7. That would have been on the male.
So the male takes another 8. So that's 14 and 8 total.
And then do same
Do the
thing
same
without
again,
the plus
without the
2.
plus-
So
Oh, nice.
another
The male zombie is completely engulfed in flames and collapses to the ground. His first companion is barely holding on, although she is completely covered in flame, but is still persisting. In her persistence, she reaches out and tries to strike Lang Xingbo. So she strikes with a fist, and she misses you. In fact, you easily take your wooden sword and knock her fist off to the side. Okay, Lang Xingbo, it's your turn.
Perfect. So, after seeing this kind of carnage in front of me, I briefly find myself a bit frightened and unsure of what to do. And so, to kind of correct that, I'm going to pull out another small piece of paper and write another character on it, a mystical character. But this time, instead of attaching it to the zombie in front of me, I attach it to myself, and I use an amulet of anointing. An amulet of anointing, as an action, I create an amulet capable of bolstering my allies with toughness and resolve. I'm guessing that can be me as well.
Yeah, any one target, including yourself.
Perfect. The target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for the duration. So he smacks an amulet on himself to give himself a bit of extra life, and then is going to move to one side just so he's not blocking the doorway and preventing anyone else from getting in. And that's going to be it for me this round.
Okay. Hinlong.
Yes. So, the one diagonal from me is dead.
Yes.
I will move here, again clearing the door. Use my bonus action. So the assailant feature, I don't see a number of times I can do it. Is it just any time I want to use a bonus action?
Yeah, anytime you want to use it as a bonus action.
So I'll use it again. That will let me use my intelligence instead of my strength or dex modifier for attacks and damage. And I'm going to drop the hand crossbow and pull out the sword and stab it with my sword.
All right, and that is a hit.
It's a +6, it looks like. Okay, yeah. Cool. So it hits it for 5 points of damage.
Okay.
That was my move, action, bonus action. I am done.
All right.
That brings us to...
That zombie is gone. Okay, the zombie that you just strike reaches back at you with a claw hoping to consume your flesh. A 16, I believe, is enough to hit you. All right.
It does hit me.
You will take 5 points of damage.
Ouch.
Yes, the scholar is very crunchy. Or squishy, I should say. I have to think about that. At third level, you have the lowest hit points. That's another feature I've got to think about a little bit more.
Yeah, that's mainly because I have no constitution bonus.
That's true. That's true. Okay, back in the initiative order. Wingwo steps forward and strikes at the nearly dead. And she critically slices this one. She slices this one into several pieces as it splatters across the floor.
Damn!
And she lets out
kind of a bad bitch, man.
She almost lets out a little bit of a giggle as she sees blood and guts splattering all over the floor.
It reminds me of autopsies we performed at school.
Gakho.
Yep. There's just one left standing, huh?
That's correct.
This is green flame.
You create a flaming blade that you can attack with creatures within 5 feet of you.
It's like the old druidic spell, Fireblade.
Yeah, but also the fire can also leap from one target to another after it hits.
That's kind
There's
of
a little bit of splash damage. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the napalm blade. I'll cast it. What the heck?
Okay.
Boom. Style will do my dagger strike. Oh.
I use my reaction again. Let's see if we can boost that a little. I give you some astute counsel with my reaction and say, your back heel is crooked, straighten it. You get a +2 to that. I don't know if it's enough, but...
And that is just enough. This one,
wow.
She is very weak, especially having lost her, what she thought was her eternal companions. And so she takes the piercing and fire damage. Okay, but she is still standing. All right, and it is Lang Xingbo.
Well, seeing as there's just one left, Lang Xingbo looks at his wooden sword with its calligraphy brush on the end, walks across the bodies in front of him to get to closer to the remaining zombie, quickly scrawls another character that rebukes the undead on his on another scrap of parchment, and then tries to slap it onto this last creature. Here is my roll. Again, this is just going to be a sword roll, just for simplicity's sake here. Come on.
That is a hit.
So, slaps it on. When it hits, it has the following effect. There's two things that occur. The first one is it is turned, which is just kind of a standard turning. So what that means is if the creature first of all must fail a saving throw or it is not turned. So it needs to make a saving throw against a DC, a wisdom saving throw, I guess, against a DC 13.
Actually, I made it, I changed it to a dexterity saving throw.
Perfect.
Oh, because they're dodging the thing, maybe. That makes sense.
Perfect.
Oh.
Okay. So not turned, but the good news is at third level, my amulet begins to do 1d6 plus my wisdom bonus of radiant damage per round, and it doesn't say that that's affected by the saving throw. So I don't know how that works, Brian. Is that affected by the saving throw?
No, that is not affected. Unless it takes an action to remove that amulet on its turn, it will take damage. It will take damage before it can do anything else. So
I think it takes damage on my turn as a bonus action. So what it says is, at third level, your amulet begins to do 1d6 plus your wisdom bonus of radiant damage per round. Oh, on his turn. Nope, I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Okay. Tianlong.
As I see this glowing calligraphy start to dig into the zombie, I read what it says, look at Xingbo and say, that's very rude, and then hit it with my sword. Oh, baby.
All right. Tell me how you destroyed this final zombie.
Shoulder to hit to hit. That's very rude.
I drive my sword directly through, pinning the calligraphied amulet to its chest.
Yes!
As it falls to the ground, you notice a pearl come rolling out of its mouth. Okay.
As quickly as possible. As quickly as possible, I snatch it up if I can.
You are able to do so.
And then I look at my companions and say, now my master will understand. He will finally understand my power when it comes to rebuking these creatures. Thank you. Thank you for this.
All right. You have cleared out this potentially dangerous tomb, ending whatever necrotic energy was spreading out from it and affecting the countryside. You go back and report to the marshal. Tianlong goes back to his grand uncle, the Duke, and tells what he has learned about this tomb. And the Duke actually is very quick in going and sending out teams to further clear out and investigate this tomb. And that...
No, Uncle, no. 500 barrels of oil.
Go get the raisin!
And that is all that I have prepared for this first playtest session. Lots of things.
That's fantastic, Brian.
Thanks. guys for coming. Any comments? Anything that stood out that you liked or think that could be improved?
I thought the astute counsel function could be incredibly fun to roleplay.
Oh yeah.
Useful, yeah. I mean, useful. It's a +2, or it's basically +2. You can add your proficiency bonus to someone else's attack and damage, but only 3 times a day at this level. It's number of 3 times a day per long rest. So it's a minor bonus. It's helpful, but it's just I get the feeling it could be a lot of fun to roleplay.
Yeah, I really liked the amulet thing, and Brian, I apologize. I know that it was kind of your intent to demonstrate the unique kind of features of the characters, and I just fully missed that whole amulet thing until the end. I was trying to use it as much as I could at the end, though. I dug it. I wonder if I do wonder. So the thing that would make me nervous as a player about this is the lack of healing. And I wonder if there is a way to work a healing amulet into that character as well, or if you have other mechanisms in mind.
I was planning on making a healing amulet as an option.
I really dig the character concept, though. I like that he's sort of. I mean, if anything, like the closest comparison that I can think of would be to a bard, right? He does a bunch of things. So a little spell casting, a little sword fighting, a little turning, a little, stuff like that. It's super interesting. I like the character concept a lot.
I'm trying to really keep with the wuxia genre and feel where basically everyone has a bit of martial arts built into them. I think that's going to be a key component writing into this setting, and how that translates into monks is going to be and makes them different. I'm still trying to figure that out in my head, but so far these classes are growing pretty well.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. The other thing that I kept coming back to when playing this guy is I like the idea of the wooden sword. I feel like the character in his head, like if someone asked him, is that a stick? He would say, well, yes, it's a stick. But when I use it is a sword because it is my spirit that makes it a sword. Right? That kind of concept kept coming back to me. Anyway.
I can't even remember where I originally got that idea. That's an idea that's been stuck in my head since I first started thinking about this a couple years ago. I think
wasn't there a legend about Musashi at the end of his life only fighting with a wooden sword?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
It's possible, and I've seen real life Taoist priests who use similar things for training, but there are also blades made out of coins tied together, and I need to do a little bit more research into that. I think that's something more specifically on affecting the undead, so I might have to make that into a magic item. Porter, any comments?
The scholar, the downside. Sorry, I used to be, or maybe I still am, a little bit of a Hong Kong action film file. Love them. Still crack me up seeing you in the Yip Man movies, Brian. I was like, holy shit, that's Brian. But anyway, the Taoist priest, particularly the rendition of the Taoist in Chinese Ghost Story 2. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yep.
Yeah, with the spirits, the young monk, the old monk, but that Taoist priest just went out and just freaking kicked ass on everything, but was only doing it for money.
Yep.
But not really even for the money, but just because he could. There's always been a Chinese character that has never really been captured in any role play. But it made me laugh. So I have to say kudos on that. Yeah, then of course your astute advisor or scholar with that astute advisory things. It's like, again, watching the party of bumbling heroes go through with the one guy saying, well, there's an ancient text that says if you do this, you can get twice as much power out of your punches. Which again, it's the old or the person who knows about all this stuff but maybe can't put it together themselves, but is able to.
Isn't really good at doing it themselves, right?
To everybody else, and it is very much, extremely entertaining. So, yeah, but that also shows, I think, captures that important cultural aspect of power of literacy and knowledge versus just prosperity and coin. Because you could be a rich merchant, but that was not nearly as important as having a being 有文化的人, the cultured and respected.
Yeah,
so
that was a very important element in Chinese culture. In fact, it's still pervasive to today. The whole examination system, and how everyone, no matter how humble a beginning they started with, by studying and working hard, they can become anything that they want. And that's something that I'm working on adding into that class.
But yeah, it has that. It brings that flavor. The sorcerer, they've always just kind of been this aberrant thing that I've seen, at least in the Chinese piece. So I'm gonna have to kind of think about the background, having been from a farmer, because they were bad luck. Having someone like that around, bad luck, and a lot of times it was a Taoist priest that came around to straighten out the thing, because you
cage match.
What's that?
Cage match.
So, because it's this person with this aberrant or unnatural or actual natural ability to tap into this power that other people couldn't see.
Right.
That whole what was it? The man's the Morpha. I don't know. Is it Morph? Yeah, the sorcery. Yeah, Morpha. Like Mogwai would be the little devil people.
Right.
Morpha that it's still an evil spirit kind of.
Did you say Mogwai? Mogwai?
Mogwai is Cantonese of Mogwai for
like
man.
The name
means.
The name of the creature from Gremlins. Right.
Yeah.
That's where that word comes from.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, it comes from little goblin things. Yeah. So yeah, it's very fun to see, but to hit, I guess, unless someone studied Asian studies to a degree, they won't fully appreciate the nuances of the character. I'm not saying you Dean and Marcus don't, because they're actually having a lot of fun with it, and Kenneth and Peace. But like I said, I don't know what you have written, but to a Western audience, it's going to take a little more priming so they actually understand these cultural nuances that come so naturally to you.
Mm-hmm. And that's the whole purpose of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and Andy, for what it's worth, you're absolutely right. Like, I had a ton of fun playing the character, but a lot of the kind of, I felt like there was, I felt like it was a reference to a cultural archetype that I just didn't have a lot of access to. And so I was kind of making it up as I go along, right? Which is fine and part of the fun of D&D, but you're absolutely right. I think that, to a Western audience, and maybe I'm projecting my own inadequacies onto an entire Western audience, if so, guilty. But yeah, I feel like there was probably depths to that character archetype that I just didn't have access to.
But once you started picking up on it, though, you're able to take it and run with it.
And in your character classes, you can give some kind of a contextual background like that. It could help people to understand it better.
Yeah.
Because Dean, you're not projecting your inadequacies on the entire Western population. Most of them don't know there's a difference between Cantonese and Mandarin.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fair enough, yeah.